Today's Dr. Deshpande Endowment Lecture. Today, orator being Dr. Neeli Ramchandar. Thank you, Dr. Neeli, for accepting to orate this program. And the topic is impact of COVID-19 on child health. And before this, I thank all the IAPNs, Telangana IAPNs, for accepting me as the president of 2020 unanimously, and we have promised a lot of programs during our installation, but we did some programs during the month of January and February. We conducted a health camp at Jilla Parishad High School at Kudbulapur village. We have screened around 1,000 children, school children, and we did free distribution of medicines. Dr. Surendranath, Dr. Ranganath, and Dr. KV Rao, and our team was we did that program. And also we picked up around 4 to 5 cases of congenital heart diseases and 5 to 6 cases of hydrocele and hernia cases, and around 10 to 15 myopia cases. We referred them to the respective hospitals for the further treatment. And after that, we had our pandemic. From March, we did for first 2 months we didn't do anything. After that, we started our webinars. We did almost around 40 webinars, and in that 8-9 young Turk programs, and around 19 webinars on the DIAP platform. And we are proud to say that we have invited pan-Indian faculty to these various webinars, and all these webinars were accepted by all the IAPNs, pediatricians who are practicing in the rural areas and district levels. And also, we during the pandemic, for the benefit of the children who were hypoxic, who need ventilation, so we procured two CPAPs, Aero2 machines. Our dynamic secretary, Dr. Yashwant Rao, has procured those two Aero2s at a very, very reasonable rate, and really he has almost saved 1.5 lakh rupee to the PATS. Thank you, Dr. Yashwant. Thank you. A big applause to Dr. Yashwant. Yeah. And we have distributed personally to Nizamabad Government Hospital 1 unit, and another 1 unit to the Karimnagar Hospital. We personally, me and Dr. Yashwant, we went to those 2 places, we hand over. After that, we have received calls from those hospitals who were pediatricians who were using those machines. Almost in Nizamabad, 12 patients were recovered, and Karimnagar, they used around 7 to 8 patients. And also in the month of May, when many migrant laborers were moving out of the Hyderabad to various places to the north, me and Srikanth, our EV member, Iron Man, we both together went to Medchal area where all the migrant people were aggregated, and from there they were relocating to their respective places. We went there, and on behalf of PATS, we supplied them masks and sanitizers and essential drugs, and also we taught them how to maintain distance and how to do hand sanitization and various things. And almost we served for around 600 to 800 migrant labor at Medchal area. And after that, in the month of June, July, we went to our Honorable Health Minister along with IMA and TCB. We all went to Dr. Irtal Rajendra, requesting him to allot few beds at Nizam's hospital for practicing for all the doctors on a priority basis. At the time, actually, we were not having beds. For some doctors went short of beds. So we requested him along with all the team members. And recently, on the 1st January, we have given 25,000 masks to our Dr. N. Ravi Kumar, head of the department, Neelofer Hospital, for free distribution to the patients and attenders. To thank you, Dr. Ravi Kumar sir. To decrease the infection rate to the doctors who are examining those patients. And recently, maybe everyone are aware of day before yesterday's postings. PATS won 5 first prizes and 2 second prizes in the celebrations, day celebrations. Thank you, and thank you. It was a team effort. All the medical colleges and practicing doctors in the Hyderabad have really done very well in those celebrations. And thank you one and all. And today, and I welcome Dr. Neeli Ramchandar to start.
We have to introduce person.
Yeah, Dr. Yashwant, please introduce Dr. Neeli Ramchandar.
Today's oration is sixth oration of Dr. M.S. Deshpande. He is the founding father of IAP AP State. He was a president Rotarian, astute clinician, a generous philanthropist who had more interest towards classical music. He was a multifaceted personality. Dr. Madhukar Srinivas Deshpande, fondly called as M.S. Deshpande, was born on 25th January 1932. He hailed from a small village in Navandi in Maharashtra. He graduated from Nizam College, then did his MBBS in Usmania Medical College, Hyderabad, completed DCH in Neelofer Hospital. He had a flourishing practice in Kachiguda, Hyderabad. His clinic was always full with patients. His love for children was so real and deep that no parent even left his clinic without being consoled and reassured. His clinical acumen was par excellence. He joined the government service as civil assistant surgeon, subsequently left service. Despite his busy practice, he had a childlike curiosity on academics. He had a sharp memory and razor sharp intellect. He was interested in clinical medicine. He would at length discuss interesting updates on pediatrics with equal among all the colleagues and postgraduate. His presence in the meeting was always lively and interesting questions with clinical anecdotes. He was one of the founding fathers of Indian Academy of Pediatrics AP State, also Twin Cities branch. His interest in upholding traditions and decorum in the academy were exemplary. His presence during general body meeting was always marked with lively debates and discussions. He strived to maintain oneness and unanimity in the academy, sometimes even at the cost of his own ambitions. He was a multifaceted personality. He was a connoisseur of classical music. He would love to tell ragas even after listening to few lines. He shared music with maestros like Pandit Ravi Shankar, Biju Maharaj and Zakir Hussain. He was founders of Suramandal, Hyderabad. So with this introduction, we have informed the family of Dr. M.S. Deshpande. Abhay Deshpande sir just lives by side, but due to his age, he told that he will not be available. He would be available on Zoom. Anytime he may join us. He has 3 other sons who are away in Pune. With this introduction, I would like to introduce Dr. Neeli Ramchandar. We all know Neeli Ramchandar for his straightforwardness and sharpness. He posts us early in the morning his musical collection and paintings. He is an alumnus of Kakatiya Medical College, followed by he did his post-graduation at Nilofer Hospital. Then since last 27 years, he has been practicing in Nizamabad. He is past president of PATS, the founder president of PATS, and he was recently awarded the President of India Rotary medal, the Red Cross medal for 2018 and 19. So with this few introduction, I call upon Dr. Neil Ramchandar to deliver this 6th prestigious oration.
Thank you. Dr. Yeshwant, PAT Secretary, Dr. Lakshman Garlapati, President. I thank Chairman of the Medical Council, Dr. Ravindra Reddy Garu, for coming all over from Nizamabad despite his tight schedule there. I thank National Vice President, Dr. Ravi Kumar. I thank Swapna Madam, who has come amidst COVID disregarding risk to her life. I thank President-elect Bhaskar, Central IAP members, Dr. Narahari, anyone. Dr. Yashwant Rao is also one of the members. I thank all senior C and Reddy sir, Lachana, Dr. Chakrat.
Please come here. Sir, first light change. Light change. Ramchandar sir. Chapel change.
I thank one and all. As soon as where should I start? Over? Where should I start?
Yeah, like in our laptop, how do we do exactly like that?
As soon as Secretary has sent in the flyer about this Dr. Deshpande sir memorial oration, Mr. Roddam Prabhakar Rao, former DGP of Andhra Pradesh, has immediately remarked to it. I read his remarks. I have many happy memories of my Kannada friend, genial doctor, music lover, and perfect gentleman, Dr. M.S. Deshpande. My homage to his memory. Mr. Roddam Prabhakar Rao, former DGP of Andhra Pradesh. Seniors and friends, I thank PATS President and Secretary for the honor bestowed upon me to present endowment lecture before you. Dear friends,
Next slide.
next slide. Dear friends, we have witnessed the worst of the migration, the partition of India. Lots of migration has happened. In spite of the lockdown measures and containment measures, we have seen the worst, the entire globe has seen the worst of the human life due to COVID-19. As I was scrolling through the data, as on October 18, 39 million cases were reported with 1.1 million deaths. And India stood second in the reporting of the cases. As usual, India never backtracks on any such things. I was going through the same on 2nd of January. See the figures, 84 million cases. People are thinking that COVID is over. They are moving freely. They are attending marriages. They are attending receptions. They are attending whatnot. They are going to supermarkets. They are going to every social functions as if COVID is over. This is the figures in spite of these things. The lockdown measures, containment measure, and awareness by the various governments. Yesterday, I have again checked whether any relapse, any recovery is there, any coming down is there, but no. See, within 5 days, 87.2 million cases are reported, and India is there in second place as usual. Healthcare staffs and parents are genuinely worried for children, as this is a novel disease with weak evidence based to formulate clinical decisions, and everyone is virtually susceptible. What we know about children and COVID? COVID-19 is reported much less frequently in children than in adults. Children have much milder disease than adults. The role of children in transmission is not yet fully understood. Historical experience suggests that some viral infections are less severe among children and prognosis becomes worse with advancing age. Previous SARS and other epidemics showed varied predilection for pediatric age group for obscure reasons. These are the various hypotheses that have been put forward to explain the lesser severity of COVID-19 among children. One is healthier respiratory system, lesser outdoor activity, lack of physical and mental stress, exposure to BCG vaccine, greater activity of thymus, progressive increase in ACE levels from the age of 4 to 13 years, higher rates of respiratory viral co-infection, which reduces SARS-CoV-2 replication by direct virus-to-virus interaction and competition among children. Endothelial damage, this is most important, which is absent in children, this endothelial damage. And in adults, the age and cardiovascular disease and diabetes mellitus are the risk factors for severe COVID-19. Innate immunity thus is most important, the first line of defense against COVID-19. And exposure to antiviral vaccines is also postulated to offer protection to children. Young children are less susceptible to SARS-CoV-2 than older children. The data is limited. Current information from most studies suggests that SARS-CoV-2 susceptibility rises with age. A range of studies shows in different ways. Contract tracing studies are there, studies of household and community transmission, there, serological studies are there. These are all supported. Children under 10 years are less likely to pass on the virus to others than adolescents and adults. Fewer children under 10 have antibodies compared to adolescents and adults. This suggests fewer children under 10 had been infected. Adolescents had a similar prevalence as young as adults. Hence, we should be very careful in our practice in dealing with adolescents and children. It is expected that, like in adults, children having pre-existing illness like cystic fibrosis, severe asthma, congenital heart disease, malnutrition, obesity, and children from antenatal smokers are at heightened risk for poorer outcome if infected with COVID-19. Children are not the face of this pandemic. Remember, children are not the face of this pandemic, but they risk being among its biggest victims. While they have thankfully been largely spared from the direct health effects of COVID-19, at least to date, the crisis is having a profound effect on their well-being. All children of all ages and in all countries are being affected, in particular by the socio-economic impacts and in some cases by mitigation measures that may inadvertently do more harm than good. Moreover, the harmful effects of this pandemic will not be distributed equally. This is the picture of the lockdown measures that were put, but United Nations or the governments are yet to confirm it. This is a universal crisis, and for some children, the impact will be lifelong. In developing countries, the number of children living in monetary poor households could increase by 142 million by the end of 2020. There are three main channels through which children are affected by this crisis. Infection with the virus itself, immediate socio-economic impacts of measures to stop transmission of the virus and end the pandemic. And the final one, the potential long-term effects of delayed implementation of the sustainable developmental goals. The poverty and its implications are an estimated 40 to 66 million children could fall into extreme poverty as a result of this crisis, adding to the estimated 386 million children already in extreme poverty in 2019. 188 countries have imposed countrywide school closures affecting more than 1.5 billion children. Which bed? Which bed? Been the bed. This has resulted in reversing the last 2 to 3 years of progress in reducing infant mortality within a single year. Risk for child safety is looming large. Lockdowns and shelter in place measures come with heightened risk of children witnessing or suffering violence and abuse. For each of the above, specific protections must be put in place for vulnerable children, including refugees, displaced, homeless, migrants, minorities, slum dwellers, children living with disabilities, street children, and children living in refugee settlements, and children in institutions. Now it is the time to set up international solidarity for children and humanity and to lay the foundation for a deeper transformation of the way we nurture and invest. The channel through which COVID-19 affected children, as I already said, the infection with the virus, but much more common has been for children to tragically lose a parent, a family member, or caregiver to COVID-19. The psychological effects of such loss on children should not be overlooked. The socio-economic impacts has been very disturbing. Physical distancing in lockdown measures, restriction of movement and border closures and surveillance studies are all affecting children in myriad ways. Face-to-face child services like schooling, nutrition programs, maternal and newborn care, immunization services, sexual and reproductive health services, HIV treatment, alternative care facilities, community-based child protection programs, and case management for children requiring supplementary personalized care, including those living with disabilities and abuse victims, have often been partially or completely suspended. The impact of the pandemic extends far beyond the sphere of physical health. The third channel is the risk that the virus and its response poses, as I already said. Sustainable development goals are at risk. The longer the current crisis goes, the more dramatic the impacts on these children, as the economic struggle and government spending is restricted and more likely the increase in their numbers. What started as a public health emergency has now snowballed into a formidable test for global development and for the prospect of today's younger generation. It is a death knell for the younger generation. The overall impact of the pandemic on children reflect the combined effects from all these three channels. What are the impacts? That were the impacts, and what are the dimensions and scale? Falling into poverty, learning, survival and health and safety. This is the approximately 150 million additional children are living in multi-dimensional poverty without access to essential services. That dark blue is a pre-COVID era one, the poverty picture, and this light one is estimated impact of during COVID. As I already told, physical distancing lockdown measures have very, very bad impact on the people. This is the daily income of that has affected in Bangladesh. It is a study during just pre-COVID and during COVID. That last image, 26th March lockdown shows how the economy has crashed due to the loss of work and loss of income source. For below poverty people, they started migration back to their villages. We have seen in the print media and in the electronic media, and the government has come in for sharp criticism from all the people that lockdowns were implemented hastily. This is the one picture that has in everyone's mind. Almost 100,000 of additional stillbirths could occur over the next 12 months due to impact of COVID-19. Upsurge of VPDs, measles and polio are worse than COVID-19. Till now we were thinking that COVID-19, we have in our mind that COVID-19 is the worst thing and nothing else. But friends, measles and polio are worse than COVID-19. Gavi estimates that at least 13.5 million people in 13 of the world's least developed countries will not be vaccinated against measles, polio, and HPV in the short term, and in the long term, millions more will fall. Worldwide cases of measles surged to nearly 870,000 in 2019, the highest number of reported cases in the past 23 years. More than 94 million children are at risk of missing measles vaccine because of past measles campaign in 26 countries due to efforts to control COVID-19 and threatening to exacerbate ongoing measles outbreaks. The number of new HIV infection is projected to nearly double if 100% of the population lose access to treatment service over a 6-month period, and the number of pediatric deaths will similarly soar. Due to COVID measures, approximately 18 million children under the age of 1 in at least 68 countries may miss out on receiving life-saving vaccine. Complex interplay between psychosocial stress and pandemic-induced forced homestay and lifestyle management will further worsen the malic effects on child's overall health in a vicious cycle. Today, more vulnerable children are becoming malnourished due to the deteriorated quality of their diets and the multiple shocks created by the pandemic and its containment measures. According to a study covering 180 in low and middle income countries by Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, an additional 2 million under 5 deaths could occur in just 12 months due to reductions in routine health services coverage levels and an increase in child waste. This is the picture of over 2 million additional children under 5 could die during the next 12 months due to impact of COVID-19. New HIV infections among young children have decreased by half in the last decade. However, service disruptions due to COVID-19 could reverse these gains. Effort to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 are disrupting food systems, upending health and nutrition services, devastating livelihoods, and threatening food security. COVID-19 is expected to increase the risk of all forms of malnutrition. Before COVID-19, 47 million children younger than 5 years suffered with moderate to severe wasting. Early COVID-19 disrupted 30% of nutrition services. 75 to 100% of nutrition services were affected in lockdown. Reduction in health services coverage, if left unchecked, will be catastrophic for mothers and children than COVID-19 itself. Drug resistance, this is another problem due to COVID-19. Increased drug usage for COVID-19 and suspension of immunization globally paved the way for increasing antibiotics usage and drug resistance. Ivermectin, lots of people themselves were using. It has become almost an over-the-counter drug. OTC drug, hydroxychloroquine, a panacea for the public. The people were thinking that it is only prescribed for healthcare workers. Then people thought, why should not we? Tons of hydroxychloroquine were consumed from the OTC. Azithromycin, another fascinating antibiotic. We don't know what is the state of azithromycin after this pandemic is over. And aspirin. Doxycycline, another wonderful antibiotic, is in the hands of the people from the again counter. Lots of people were consuming doxycycline themselves without any prescription. Montelukast, a fashion drug for the people. Ginkgo, this multivitamin and vitamin C. Lots of people have consumed multivitamin and they have chewed vitamin C countless times. Thanks to the great Indian WhatsApp University. This is all because of the WhatsApp. Everyone has become MD in COVID, even before the doctors could analyze what was the situation going on. This is the situation. Most of the people have qualified from the WhatsApp University. Worldwide, this learning process, worldwide closure of schools has no historical precedent. This has never happened in the history of the universe. 188 countries have imposed countrywide closures affecting more than 1.5 billion children and youth. The potential losses that may occur in learning for today's younger generation and for the development of their human capital are hard to fathom. Impact of education during COVID-19 and screen time. Everyone was handling Android phones. Handling of this was up by 100% for children during COVID. Handling of the phone. 54% stated their kids are spending up to 5 additional hours in front of a screen. The biggest concern is 57% of parents worried about access to inappropriate information. As you know, you must all be knowing what is the inappropriate content. They may excuse, the children may excuse it to access to non-educational content. And due to handling of the phone in excess of the routine use, has set the children on onset and progression of myopia. School closure affects children in many ways. School absentee affects equity, education, and child health and development. More than 1.5 billion students were affected by school closures worldwide. Many schools are unable to offer remote education. Keeping children home affects the ability of the parents to work. Parents don't know whether they have to handle children or they have to work from home. They were unable to decide. At least 63 million or 31% of school children worldwide cannot be reached by digital or broadcasting remote learning. This is an injustice to the rights of the child. This is what happened during lockdowns for these 30% of the people who could not access to digital mode of education for various reasons. Child labor, child marriages is the worst effect of the COVID. And the consequence of the child marriages, teenage pregnancy, child soldiers. In African continents, Boko Haram used to attack the schools. During Ebola also, they attacked schools and kidnapped 300 to 400 students. During this pandemic also, they attacked students and recruited children for as soldiers for their struggle. Actually, truly speaking, there are few outbreaks reported in schools since early 2020. More outbreaks were reported in secondary and high school than in primary and elementary schools. In school outbreaks, it was more likely that the virus was introduced by adult personnel. Unaware of this, we have closed the schools and did a blunder on the health of the child. This is how school closures affected universally. Pink one is localized closure of the schools in those countries, and countrywide the orange one, the darker one is countrywide closure of the schools. Had we insisted on use of masks, this situation could have not arisen. When there is intense community transmission COVID-19 and in settings where physical distancing is not possible, children under 5 years should not be required to. Friends, we should tell the community that children under 5 years should not be required to wear masks. 6 to 11 years old, the use of mask should be based on whether there is a widespread transmission in the area, ability of the child safety and appropriately use a mask, access to clean and replacement masks, adequate adult supervision, potential impact of learning and psychosocial development, specific safety and interactions with persons at high risk. Children 12 years and older should wear a mask under same condition as adults. Teacher and support staff should wear masks when they cannot guarantee at least 1 meter distance from others, or if there is widespread transmission in the area. These hygiene practices had been put in place before closure of the schools, we would have addressed them in a better manner. The physical distancing, the ventilation measures. The risk of outbreak when the community transmission is very high. Large outbreaks occurred only in 2 places in the entire universe. It happened once in Israel and the second time in Georgia. In both these settings, they have not adopted proper procedures to run the school. It was the mistake of the management rather than the fault of the children. Implication for school public health policy. COVID-19 appears to have less effect, as I already told, on children's health than for adults. Children and schools are unlikely to be the main drivers for COVID-19 transmission. Closure of schools should be considered only if there is no other alternative. Adult personnel may be at risk of acquiring and transmitting infection. during the schools being open. How to support schools to stay safe? Communications with parents, students, teachers, and staff is all that is enough as a multi-layered approach. Here, Newton's first law of motion comes into my mind. What first law says: a body remains at rest. A body at rest remains at rest, or if in motion remains in motion. What is this? Schools are shut down. Government is planning to open the schools. This is the situation. Now the children are addicted to staying at homes. They feel very now troublesome and very panicked to go to schools again. They are thinking that the entire life will be like this. Children might resist going to schools after lockdown is over. The long-term negative effect on children, overall psychosocial well-being. Indian largest child population in the world is 472 million. Lockdown impacted 40 million children from poor families. We should guide children. 5 golden rules to stay safe online. It is okay to block someone you are not comfortable communicating with. Do not accept friend requests from strangers. If an email looks suspicious, it is better to delete or mark it as junk. Passwords are not social. It is not fashion to own a password. Do not share your password with anyone. We should alert them. Remember to log out while using a public computer. Survival in child health. In contrast to the direct impact of COVID-19, the broader effect of the pandemic on child health care are significant. Reduced household income will force poor families to cut back on essential health and forced expenditures. Additional child deaths could occur in 2020, reversing the last 2 to 3 years of progress in reducing infant mortality within a single year. 368 million children across 42 countries who normally rely on school meals for a reliable source of daily nutrition must now look to other sources. Safety. For most children, home represents a source of security and safety. And for poor, it is just opposite. Domestic violence. Domestic violence has increased by 25% globally. European Parliament is the only one institution has stood by women by this statement. We won't leave Europe's women alone. No other government has stood by them. This is the kind of domestic violence. 66 countries have reported a disruption in violence against children-related services due to COVID-19. This is also another case of domestic violence. That infant was sleeping on grandmother's lap, and there was a tussle between grandmother and daughter-in-law. And the daughter-in-law, out of anger, realizing that her baby was sitting in the lap of her enemy, she pulled the baby and dashed against the wall and the baby died. This is another example of domestic violence. The uneven impact of COVID-19, most damaging for children in the poorest countries, on the poorest households within countries, and on girls being the targets. The girl child is most targeted. COVID-19 impact on mental health. Treasurer Samir Dalwai has rang me up from Mumbai saying that Neely, you should not forget the mental health effect on the COVID-19. Please stress it. It is affected in more than 91% of children globally. Irritability, inattention, cringing behavior, disturbed sleep, nightmares, poor appetite, agitation, separation-related anxiety. These are the moods of the children during COVID. Children were like this before this is pre-COVID picture. And now this is the picture in the families. Vulnerable, in addition to poor children, there are other vulnerable child populations also. We should take care of them. 1 billion people worldwide live in slums, informal segment, inadequate housing. They should be looked after. The long-term effects. The ultimate impact of the crisis on children hinges on how much time it will take for this pandemic to end. A longer struggle to contain the virus not only prolongs the pain caused by the pandemic, but raises the prospect that the pandemic's impacts will have lingering or persistent effect on children. The longer is the lockdown, the economies will shut down, and the less likely they are to snap back. At the household level, struggling families will increasingly see breadwinners lose their jobs or be forced to sell productive assets in order to survive, with the long-running consequence for child poverty. The most important one is lifelong challenges as their neurological development is impaired, which no one can repair. The same situation was there during the Ebola epidemic. Same, returning to school was there, health access was impaired, immunization disturbed, child health disturbed, child nutrition disturbed, teenage pregnancies, sexual violence, birth registration affected, loss of caregiver. The same picture, the same isomer picture is presenting during the COVID. What we should do? We should do everything possible to minimize risks and impacts. Information, solidarity, and action. We should, avoiding this outcome will require progress on these three fronts: more information, more solidarity, more action. The immediate rollout or expansion of social assistance to families privileged through the use of universal child grants, which offer a simple and proven tool for children from extreme poverty. The urgent securing of food supply chains and local food markets, adaptation of standard physical distancing and lockdown strategies in low-income settings, especially in urban areas, refugee settlements, etc., will aid it. Putting in place specific protections for vulnerable children is most important. Providing practical support to parents and caregivers is most important. Ensuring that children, adults, and young people have access to COVID-19 testing, treatment, and vaccines as and when they become available. The new challenges of COVID-19. People were thinking that COVID is over. People were relaxing. This is the yesterday's news. Huge overnight spot in COVID case in state. This is regarding Telangana. Friends, COVID is not yet over. It is at its peak in spite of all these containment measures, all these precautions and enforcements by the governments universally. New mutant coronavirus is also disturbing all the governments alike. Schools and colleges are minding to open and start the education, but immediately after starting of the institutions, they are closing the institutions after reported cases, after hundreds of cases are reported positive. In AP also similar situation arose. Again, Britain is in the forefront. The Boris Johnson has cancelled his appointment to Republic Day parade guest due to latest situation. Moreover, children have been shown to shed the virus in feces besides nasopharyngeal secretions while being relatively asymptomatic, having an imminent potential for wide transmission in the community. We have lost many pediatricians. Pediatricians are in the forefront than any other specialty in the nation. More than 30 pediatricians we have lost. Be careful while consulting an adolescent or older children than children below 10 years. They are as equal as the other picture. Pater Panchali 1954, Satyajit Ray, first movie. He filmed this basing on 1920s and 30s depression. The same situation is now there in India. Lot of poverty is there. Education is disturbed. People are totally disturbed, unable to do any positive thing. I remember a quotation: healthy children will not fear life if their elders have integrity enough not to fear death. But here, elders' integrity is at stake. They are fearing death. Hence, children's future is at stake. Conclusion: we have to act now. We have to act decisively and at very large scale. This is not a gradual, it is a clarion call for the world's children, the world's future. Last year on the same day, Dr. Sudarshan Reddy sir was there with me. His words still I remember. Ramchandar, మంచిది అందరు కలిసి ఉండండి, అందరు కలిసి ఉండండి, మంచిది నేను వెళ్తున్నాను. This is my last interaction and last snap with him in indoor on the sidelines of the Pedican 2020. I have lost my mentor, my teacher, my guide, but I have my friends with me, Dr. Yashavantrao and Lakshman. who gave me a chance to remember me before you. We have seen Mahan Samaj Sudarak, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. We have seen Mahatma Gandhi. Our father's generation has seen Mahatma Gandhi. Our father's generation has seen Mahatma Phule. And now we are seeing M. Surendranath is Mahatma Surendranath. Surendranath has all the qualities of being a Mahatma. I wish him all the best as the president-elect. The ray of hope is vaccination. Many reservations are there. Efficacy, third phase trials not yet over. Still the vaccines were being given license. Elders are advising us that something is better than nothing. So we are in this state. Still ray of hope is COVID-19 vaccine to end this calamity. Thank you, friends. Thank you, Valinda.
Thank you, sir. I request President Lakshman Garlapati, Dr. Surendranath sir, Dr. E. Ravindra Reddy sir, C.N. Reddy sir, to come and join us honoring him. Ravi Kumar, National Vice President, his colleague, close friend Dr. Bhaskar, and all other seniors, Dr. Lachanna, who would like to join. Chakradhari sir.
Namaste. Congratulations. Wonderful. Mahatma is a very good young Mahatma. Mahatma
Madhukar Srinivas Deshpande Endowment Lecture, Dr. Neel Ramchandar is a well-known pediatrician in Nizamabad, Telangana and Pan-India, practicing since last 27 years as a consultant pediatrician, director Kavita Children's Hospital. He did fellowship in advanced vaccinology. His areas of interest are music, Telugu literature, and he writes articles in vernacular language. He has recently been awarded as President of India's Red Cross Gold Medal, Vaidya Ratna 2017-18 and FIP 2015. So we affix our hand and seal on conferring MS Deshpande Endowment Lecture to Dr. Neel Ramchandar on this day. Lakshman sir.
కొంచెం ముందుగా పడుతుందా ప్రశాంత్ లైట్ మనకు పడుతుంది అది ఇస్తావా Okay, thank you. Anna, congratulations.
Oka photo. TV, oka photo. Lakshman sir, madam.
Thank you, one and all. I request all the delegates and the friends of PATS to join tomorrow for our 6th state conference, which will be held at Hotel Green Park on 9th and 10th. 9th is at Hotel Green Park and 10th on digital IAP platform, where everybody can join. So I request each and everybody to come and have this academic feast. Over to Dr. Lakshman.
Now I request Dr. Surendranath, incoming President PATS, to speak.
Good evening. At the outset, I thank Lakshman doing an excellent job during the last year, in spite of COVID. And Yashwant and Lakshman has done extremely good as far as academics are concerned. There was no gap of any academic program. We used to have at least every Wednesday some program was there. I think PAP will continue these programs this year also till the COVID situation is better. And we will try to continue the same academic programs which are continued last year also. And I wish all the best for the contenders from our state. Entire PATS will be behind those people who are contesting from the Telangana. I think we, for Central IAP higher posts, we are all behind the people who are contesting from the Telangana. Thank you. Thank you.
I think from our Telangana, Dr. Yashwant is aspiring for the post of HSC, and Dr. Himabindu for the president post, and all our pediatricians across Telangana should support our. Sir, నాకు తెలియదు sir అది. Yeah, request. Yeah. I request Dr. N. Ravi Kumar also is an aspiring president for Central IAP. To thank you.
Ravi sir, please come over. I thank our president and in presence of Telangana State Medical Council Chairman Dr. Ravindra Reddy, elders, Dr. Lakshman sir, please come over. Sir, Ravindra Reddy sir, once. After 2000, we do not have a president from Telangana. We have 2015, Dr. Neel Ramchandar, followed by Surendranath sir, and now Dr. N. Ravi Kumar. I think we have contributed immensely from Telangana and combined AP in 2000 and 2010 to 2016 under APCP Pedicon, when we all were there. Smaller states are doing better than us. I think we all should be united and we should move ahead. Dr. Ravi Kumar has shown us the way, Dr. Surendranath and earlier people. Now this is a time that all the Telugu states should be one. We should support our candidate. I humbly accept the proposal Dr. Surendranath has made, Dr. Lakshman Garlapati has made. I request Dr. Arjun, IAP Twin Cities Branch President, to come over. Dr. Bhaskar sir, President-elect. Dr. C.N. Reddy sir. Rangaya sir, please.
Rangaya sir, good evening sir.
Rangaya sir, Bhaskar garu. So this is an occasion. Narahari sir, please. So this is an occasion where we all should be united and move forward. I think there should be consensus, and we are being used as pawns. Time is high that we all should unite and achieve our goal. I request Ravindra Reddy sir to make a comment.
This is a high time, and we are really happy that Ravi made it 9,500 members. The direct election is very difficult to get so many votes. But I personally feel HSG candidate is fine, but president, there should be only one candidate. I don't know how we should. Okay, then it's better.
She is.
Okay, okay.
Yes, come forward.
Okay, then we are all go on. All guns blazing. We should fight it out and we should make it. My dear friends, we should make it this year. With a rider. Okay, fine. Ravi, you are accepting something, man. Come on.
Last time I did. Last time
No, I don't want to tell the rider because basically our strength. Usually when we are talking in the PCB ads, we always talk we can do something. But when you see the all India scenario, this Hindi belt is slightly more. 10,000 votes plus votes they are having. South only having a very minimal number. So, but still Bangalore, Kerala, they dominate a lot because en masse, 2,500 votes, en masse they can give it to anybody or they can take it from other one. But whereas in our state, the situation is only 1,500 votes are there. Out of that, this is the highest votes. This time, 900 votes have been polled. We have another 1,000 members are there. They are not members. We should make them pediatricians as a members. Then we will also 2,500 votes will be there from the Telangana. Then we can dictate norms to anybody. So that we have to do. So because membership drive. So another 1,000 pediatricians are there. They are not yet become the members because these programs are not lucrative for them. They are not feeling that this is not worth. But we should motivate them to become the members. You can use the good office of the medical companies also. They can pay also the amount or something like that. So we should make another 1,000 members. Then definitely we can dictate this. Thank you very much. Whoever is coming forward for the election, please support wholeheartedly.
In-mass is the rider. In-mass.
No, that is not the rider. I don't have plastic smiles, you know.
Good morning to all of you. So I think we have started a good beginning in 2021. So for that, I think again we congratulate our Bhaiya, Elder Bhaiya, okay? Because when we had in 19th December, thank you party, we were discussing myself, Elder Bhaiya, then CN Reddy sir is there, Arjun Bhaiya is there, Yashwant Bhaiya is there, Srinath Bhaiya is there. So in total we were discussing because lot of problems are there. One reason what I want to say is that why the people are not interested, not showing in the organization is that they are thinking that they are sidelined because they are thinking. This is what I presume. Whenever I was the president in 2019, whenever I talk to somebody, they were telling, sir, what is the use? Why we should take life membership? What is the uses? Only there's a sample of people are managing the organization. But I don't think that is not the good. So as Ravi Bhaiya said and Narendra Bhaiya said, because the unity is the very, very important. For any elections, voting is the vote is the very powerful. We have to congratulate definitely the Ravi Bhaiya, the Ravi Kumar Bhaiya, and senior. But getting 9,000 plus votes across the nation is a very, very important milestone. Because why he has got, I think, is that he has not created any troubles for anybody this time. So my personal, because if you keep troubling, everybody will keep trouble other one. Then we will make the problem for all of us. So this is the right way to communicate to everybody that.
Also got 900 votes in Telangana.
Yeah. So that is my whatever this thing is there. In mass we have supported. Now also will support the result. We don't know what will happen, but at least we have to send the message that this is the time in Telangana, because we are 6-year-old. We want it. Nobody was there in the nation after Vaisi Mathur sir as the president. Nobody is there as the secretary in the Telugu states. So we have to send a message that from Telugu states, not from Telangana. This secretary is from Telugu states. Let us see. Although we are divided, but let us make it in a point to our neighbors also. They were there with us. So let us make it that very, very united. So if somebody has got some problems, let us talk across the table. No problem. Every problem can be solved across the table. So with the family also, some troubles will be there. We are large organizations will be there. So definitely I wish all the best, madam, because you have to take the everybody, incoming president, our Sunan Bhaiya is there, Pawan is there, then Yashwant is there, Bhaiya is, everybody is there, Ravana is there, because they are in the center, Narari is there, then everybody is there. Please take opinions of everybody, make some teams, because I might be knowing somebody, somebody is might doing somebody. So make some concrete teams and assign that what to do, how to talk to them, not only simple, but should not have any the enemy among you. Miscommunication could be there, but definitely we should make some committee, as Ajay Bhaiya said in one of the June meeting, we have to assign, okay, we have to assign the work, what to do, how to do, when to do, where to do, everything has to be in a proper way till our goal is achieved. Whether the future will tell. If we are united, then definitely our unity will be there. Because I will tell one thing, because I was named to the president-elect in 2018. When I was there in the Mumbai, Nitin Shah told me, "Kya what is this in your Telangana? You are fighting. You people are sending two people for president central IAP.
Not only
You people
president,
are not
not
solving.
only, not
Yeah,
only
you are
president,
not
vice
sol-
president, vice
yeah.
president post
Even
also.
hospital also, Bhaiya and Suresh Bhaiya were there.
Arif and
Yeah. So they were almost telling you people are only 4-year-old state. What is this way? You are not solving your own problem. Definitely that will send a wrong signal. Now the unity, please send it from tomorrow onwards that you declare it into the national, whatever, wherever it is there. Please, we will go. We will be 100% with you. All the best, and hopefully we will have something in the national. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now we will use the platform of IMA also, and also medical council as a national vice president myself, and also chairman of the medical council for so many years. I have a lot of contacts. Know that we have one candidate and one HLC. We will go all out sincerely, and both Telugu states will be taken as one unit. Let us not just Telangana. For as IAP is concerned, both Telugu states. That's right. But if they are contesting, we'll also support them. Please make it a point, Ravi, because you are active in the politics, in the IAP politics. So we please promote. Thank you.
Thank you, definitely. Yeah. Telugu states, yeah, they should go at the unity. If next year they will learn, we will be behind them.
We in fact asked last time only when Ravi sir was contesting, we proposed our, we have future, we have two people coming in from Andhra and Telangana. We are ready to support. So we have passed on the message. All the people across the districts have asked that we will have in future. Please support. Arjun sir.
Arjun bhai.
Neeli bhaiya.
నేను చెప్పేది ఒకటే, కేరళ వాళ్ళు ఎంత చక్కగా ఉంటారంటే అసలు వాళ్ళ లోపల వాళ్ళకి ఎలక్షనే కాదు, ఏ రోజు ఈపీ మెంబర్ కాంటెస్ట్ కాదు, ఏ పోస్టుకు వాళ్ళ స్టేట్ అసలు ఎలక్షనే కాదు. పెద్దలు ఉంటారు, ఎల్డర్స్ ఉంటారు, ఎల్డర్స్ విల్ డిసైడ్ దిస్ ఇయర్ దిస్ టీమ్ విల్ గో యాజ్ ఈబీ మెంబర్స్. అండ్ ప్రెసిడెన్షియల్ క్యాండిడేట్స్ ఎవ్రీ 5 years ఒకసారి ప్రెసిడెన్షియల్ క్యాండిడేట్ ని తీసుకొస్తారు. He will win.
I do agree.
Kerala model, really, I envy them. I am feeling jealous of them. I don't like their faces, but now we have to admire them.
They are part of our faces.
Why don't we have such a unity?
Yes.
ఒక పోస్ట్ ఇద్దరిద్దరు, ఒక స్టేట్ నుంచి, ఒక ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ నుంచి ఇద్దరిద్దరు. I'm sorry, I'm feeling very sorry. Once Ravi and Arif were fighting for the post, and third person got elected. Once Surendranath and Ravi, once Himabindu and Ravi. This situation should never be repeated. You swear here that this situation should never be repeated. We will bury these things for the best future, for better future to come. We together with the Andhra state, we almost 2,500 votes will be there. 2,500 votes is nothing less than anything. Central zone should be united. Already South zone is united. Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, those 3 states are united. With them, the Gujarat is combining with them. 4 states are there, the deciding votes. Why should not we strengthen ourselves in the central zone first? there should not be any enmity in the central zone first. These south zone people will use us like tissue paper and throw it. We should not trust them. We should first say unit in the central zone, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and erstwhile Andhra Pradesh. And we should combine with other states. There are other states, Ravi and Himabindu will plan. Which are the other states? We can try, we can rely on them, we can trust them. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Himabindu. I wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Yashwant. And Yashwant is our Secretary General candidate from the south. I assure there will be no candidate from Karnataka. I have already told Karnataka people there should not be any candidate from your side. Thank you. All the best, Yashwant.
Thank you all. I'll keep it very brief. For the first time at PATS as well as at TCB, we didn't have any election. We saw to that it become unanimous and by consensus with advice and evaluation, the guidance of elders like Dr. C.N. Garu has played a major role, and all other elders, Dr. Rangegar and others have saw to that there was no election this time. So after a long time, we didn't have election. I hope this trend continues. One. Second, as far as our state is concerned, I was a central IAP member, and it was embarrassing to face some members saying, "Aapke ghar mein do chulhe jal rahe." It was very shocking and embarrassing to answer them when two people fight for the same post and the third person gets elected. So once, if you're not united, if you don't have a sons of the soil policy, you're not going to win. Like how the British divided and ruled. So they are going to divide and the third person gets elected. So this is a bad trend which has to be stopped. And I firmly believe that we should send one candidate. Likewise, regarding, I'm a good thing that our Dr. Himabindu, who is very well known across the country, she has a very good rapport among the ladies and among all other opinion leaders. I'm sure she can really give a best shot and try to win. And regarding Yashwant, he's one person where IAP is such a passion in him. I mean, he's so dedicated, and I think he talks IAP, walks IAP, speaks IAP. So I always firmly believe that Yashwant has the potential to become a HSG. HSG is a very high post. In fact, I consider this higher than even president, because having a post for 2 years, managing the whole country, it's a very daunting task, which was proved by Dr. Ramesh being a Keralite. How he handled the north and everybody was amazing. And again, after Karnataka and Kerala, I'm sure our Yashwant can do really wonders as an HSG person. So I wish both of them best of luck for their endeavors, because it needs 1 year of hard work, no joke, and every vote matters. A membership drive, and we should take it up on ourselves. And PATS as well as TCP, we need to have an aggressive membership drive to enroll the maximum possible live members. Thank you all, and our Ravindra Garu is always there to guide us, and always look up to him for his guidance and advice, and solidly stands by us and all the senior elders with us, Dr. Rangegar and others. Thank you. Sorry, I've taken a lot of time. I wanted to be very brief, but.
Let us discuss the dinner. Discuss
Very good evening. I would like to thank all the elders in PATS and PCB's branch. Thank Dr. Ravi and all my colleagues, seniors and colleagues here. This is the first time I think I have seen over the last few years that we all have come united for the cause of our state, Telangana. I also echo the same sentiments and feelings what my other colleagues have told, that we have to project united cohesively at the national IAP level. Only then we can have, something standing in our national level of IAP. So many people are doing good work here. So let us be united, project a candidate and support them. And I really seek each one of your support in this endeavor. It is not easy, and maybe we have to see lot of equations have to be there. But if we are united, the whole country will be behind you. If not this time, whether we win or lose, we don't know. But let us show our strength. Thank you. I seek your support. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent Telangana this time, the national IAP for the president-elect post. Thank you.
Now, what are the thanks by Dr. Srinivas, our treasurer?
On behalf of the PATS, and I thank all of you, especially Dr. Ravindra Reddy sir, MCA chairman, and all the central EB members, and IAP TCB president, past president, secretary sir. I thank one and all, and central vice president Dr. Ravi Kumar, and all the EB members. I thank all of you for attending the today's presidential dinner. Please join us for the dinner. Thank you one and all. I request all of you to join the fellowships, and today's presidential dinner is sponsored by Sun Pharma. We thank them for giving their hospitality for the presidential dinner. Thank you very much. I request all the EB members or new EB members to come for a photograph. Secretary sir, photo.
I thank Dr. Swapna madam, my senior at PSA hospital, for the installation also in spite of being. And thank you madam for your presence today.